Recurrent pregnancy losses are heartbreaking. I often hear from women in my coaching program that it's hard to find a reason to keep trying. If you're wondering that too, I'm here with you and I'm here to support you. I want to bring this real story of hope for all of you who are finding it difficult to keep trying after a loss, after a miscarriage. It's a very special story because she's not only a member of the HOPE program, she's also a part of my team. Danielle became the enrollment coach for the HOPE fertility program after being a member for quite some time. She saw how much it helped her and wanted to help others just like it helped her. During the 20 years that I've been a fertility expert, I've seen cases like hers very often. They joined the HOPE program after many years of trying with no success and been told IVF was their only option. In today's video, we're going to talk about resilience. We're going to talk about finding purpose after a loss. We're going to discuss appreciating the improvements without focusing on the end goal and giving yourself time to heal and recover. And also, we're going to be discussing parts of Danielle's personalized plan so that you could learn what she's been doing to help herself, and maybe you can start to incorporate some of those things for yourself as well. Before I jump in and allow you to start to hear her story, the first thing I want to know, and I want to hear from all of you in the comment section below, is have you had a miscarriage? If you had, just say me, and I will know what you mean. Okay, now let's start to hear from Danielle.
So prior to finding Marc and the team, my husband and I had been trying for quite a few years. We had some time of not preventing, and then we were more actively trying for about 3 years by the time we found the program. So by the time I found the program, we were really kind of all geared up for IVF. And once I started doing research, it really intimidated me, that process. I couldn't imagine all the injections, the hormones and all that, and the financial investment.
I want to stop here for just 1 second. IVF is scary. It's intimidating on multiple levels, all of which Danielle just mentioned. But the bigger problem I have here, and I expressed this to Danielle when we first started working together, was that she was entertaining IVF as a solution for her losses. But we didn't even know if it would be a solution because we didn't know what the root cause was. And I want all of you to understand that we need to know the root cause before we can know what the solution is. Okay?
For me, I, kind of prayed and like, well, what else would I do, right? If I don't do IVF. And it was almost like immediately I found Marc's program. He talked a lot about natural approaches, changing your diet, really amazing knowledge that I had not gotten in any capacity. Prior to joining the program, the only diagnosis I had gotten was PCOS. And the feedback I got on that was just, there's nothing that we can do about it. You have PCOS, you kind of just have to figure it out on your own, and we'll just work around it.
So I know that our conversation today is, primarily one centered around miscarriage and recurrent loss, but two things with regards to what she just said. One, PCOS, there's a lot we can do about it. So if anyone ever tells you there's nothing you can do, it's not true. There's a ton you can do about it and a lot you personally can do to be proactive to address it. And two, if you have PCOS, you are more likely to have a miscarriage. And so it's important to know that so that you can kind of stay more resilient moving forward.
And then I even had a doctor who felt like IVF would kind of bypass that. So I started following Marc, started doing what a lot of people do, I think, right? Following the nutrition plan, starting to take supplements, some castor oil packs and different things. And I couldn't believe the changes I was seeing in my body just in doing that. I got my cycle back. I felt amazing. I'm like, gosh, I got to do one of these discovery calls, figure out a personalized plan, right, for myself. And so that's what I did. I did my discovery call, and
I want to stop Danielle for just a second because I hear this often. I watched your video and I changed my diet, and I watched your video and I did this, and I watched your video and I did that, and I felt so much better and I feel so different. I hear this all the time. So if you're one of those sitting on the other side saying, no, this can't be true, or I don't know if I should really follow these things, I'm telling you, even changing some of these basic things can be so impactful like it was for Danielle.
Was very intimidated because at that time I really didn't feel like a disciplined person. I'm like, oh no, I have new diet, supplements, all that stuff. It felt a little overwhelming to me. And emotionally, I quite honestly didn't believe that I could get pregnant. So I'm like, how am I going to enroll in this program and make this investment if I don't really believe? And I got that thought from one of Marc's videos. So I'm like, okay, kind of dug deep. I really looked at my mindset, my thought process, and that's where I was when I joined the program.
So Danielle has done a lot of work on her mindset, changing her mindset, and does ongoing work to do this. And I really encourage it for all of you. If you don't believe that you can accomplish something, no one else will in life. So it starts with you. It sounds cliche, it sounds corny, but it's absolutely true. Our belief starts with ourselves. So we have to believe that our bodies can do it before anybody else is going to believe in you and before you're going to see change. And so she started to make that change for herself, and I want the same thing for all of you.
I enrolled in the program, and crazy enough, got pregnant right away for the first time. So this is in 2021. I was 33 at the time, and could not believe that, right? I'm thinking, this is my miracle. This is incredible. It's amazing. I hadn't even really started the program yet. It's just from following things at home, and unfortunately for us, had an early loss. So that was a chemical pregnancy. Went on to have back-to-back chemical pregnancies in early 2021. And we're like, okay, hold the phone, right? Let's figure out what's going on. Let's implement our plan. Let's get to work. I started feeling better.
So it's really important here, just some of the basic things that we've talked about and she's talked about allowed her to get pregnant for the first time and multiple times, even though it didn't end the right way. She knew that she was doing the right thing, and I think that's a really important thing to take out of this. The other thing is she recognized, it's really easy to, once you get pregnant, to kind of get lost and forget about other things, but she recognized that they didn't end right, and she really hadn't started incorporating the real plan and doing things. So that's where she said, hold the phone, let me take a step back and start all over again.
Finally, from going from not having a cycle consistently to getting to the point where I was ovulating every single cycle, which was incredible for me.
Huge for PCOS.
And I could see that in some of the things I was doing. So late 2021, I got pregnant again, ended up that pregnancy was progressing appropriately. Numbers were doubling. I was feeling great. I'm like, okay, this is it. And unfortunately had another loss. So at that time, we hadn't done some of the miscarriage panel testing and different things like that Marc recommends. And I really needed some time to recover from that. That loss was really difficult. It kind of rocked us. And so we took a very long break. But in the meantime, Marc and the team are incredible. The program is incredible. I could not have survived that season, quite honestly, without the support, emotional support, encouragement. And he helped me do a lot of discovery about really what was happening. All these littles that we found that were subclinical, wouldn't be diagnosed in the traditional sense. And since then, I've been focusing on a lot of emotional growth, coming to terms with my journey, asking myself, why is this so important to me? Why do I want to become a mom? And really identify, because after you go through something so tragic, you start to wonder, why am I doing this? Why would I commit all this time and energy and money to something, right? But the truth is, for me, I still want to be a mom, despite what I've been through, despite if it's challenging. I still want to be a mom, and I love my husband so much. And I always say I think that I've identified about why I want to be a mom is I just want more of him. I want more of him in this world. I just love him so much, and that legacy, right? So for me, the community has been everything. Marc and the team have been everything, and now we're ready to refocus on our journey. But I just believe in the growth and the health that I have gained from this. I'm able to share knowledge with others about what I've learned. And it's just been the most impactful thing I've ever done in my life.
She's grown a lot, physically, emotionally, personally, not just on her fertility journey, but in life as a result of the struggles of the losses. But more importantly, she's stayed with it. She's been really resilient. She's staying committed to the process, and she's focusing on the little changes. She never used to have a regular cycle. Now she does. She never used to ovulate regularly. Now she does. Now she can time and intercourse appropriately so that she can conceive and get pregnant. These are all things she couldn't do before the program. But now she can, because she's focusing on appreciating the little steps, the little progress, and staying committed to the process, and also giving herself space at times to heal and recover before she continues moving forward. All of these things are so important in a situation like this for her to be able to get to that end result.
So grateful for Marc and the team and everything I've learned. When you're searching on the internet, you find all of these videos that are like, hey guys, I went through losses, I went through infertility, but I now have my baby. And they kind of hold these arrival stories. Like, I'm a mom now, I'm living my best life. And I always was kind of like, ugh, right? Because those of us that are still in the journey are like, dude, like, we're not there yet. So I get that you believe in your journey because you already have your baby. So of course you believe in your journey. So for me, I promised myself, once I felt strong enough to be able to share this without crying and breaking down, right, that I would be one of those women that would share my journey and say, hey, look, I'm still on the journey, but that doesn't invalidate my growth, the things I've learned, the blessings I've taken away, the health, focusing on myself, really asking myself, why do I want to be a mom outside of what some people experience, societal pressure, cultural pressure, oh, well, you're a woman, you should want kids. It's like, really, we have to ask ourselves why, because for some of us, it does take a little bit more time and energy. So for me, sharing my testimony with others has been a way to purpose my pain. It means that the pain that I went through was not for nothing. Which I've gotten lots of blessings, but being able to share that nugget with people and tell people, there's still value in your journey, even if you don't have that baby yet. And I feel like a mom. I'm just a mom without my kids yet, but that's been a long time for me to get to that place.
Yeah, it's not easy to be in a place where Danielle is at. It's really not. To be able to overcome some of those challenges and not always focus on that end goal of the baby in your arms. I mean, I'm not saying that's not important and something we still have a goal for her, but appreciating the little steps, the baby steps and the progress. But for her, I think the biggest thing is someone was actually able to focus on addressing the root cause. People just dismissed her PCOS, saying there was nothing that could be done. There's a lot that can be done, and because of that, she now has a regular cycle and ovulates regularly, and she can actually conceive. Those are things people told her she couldn't do. So yes, has she had multiple losses? Yes. And are we digging to find out the root cause of those? Absolutely. And now that we've done the testing, we're actually supporting those areas now. And we weren't able to do that before because we didn't have that information. And that is key. Most of all, just hearing her story. I mean, I haven't commented much because I wanted to let her just talk. It's so beautiful and so empowering, and I want all of you to take that, most importantly, out of this.
I think when you're a person that's used to getting results, this journey is really difficult. I felt like someone who was used to putting in the work, getting the result, right? And a very black and white, 2 + 2 = 4. But what I would tell Danielle in the past is I would tell her that just because she doesn't have her baby yet, just because she's not a mom yet, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And I would tell her that she deserves to invest in herself. She deserves to get around people who will sow belief into her, people that will help her, genuine people, and also share with her that the person that she's going to become through this process is worth it, even without becoming a mom yet.
So
and
powerful.
I think that's the one lesson that I take with me forward. And also just let her know that it's going to be tough, but she's going to make it through, right? It's harder than you think, but it doesn't mean that it's not worth it.
So I don't listen to these. I don't do the interview, so I didn't do the interview with Danielle. And 2, I don't listen to it until I do this with all of you. And I'm telling you, I get chills just listening to this for the first time. It's so powerful and so empowering for her, hopefully for all of you as well, that your progress, your growth as a person is part of this journey and will make you a stronger and better mom and parent when you get there in the end. And that's such a beautiful part of Danielle's story. Her personalized plan is ongoing. We're still working with her because we want to get these results for her. But she also recognizes when she needed a break, Like, she took the last 6 months off for personal reasons to just get herself back into a good place so that she can be ready to move forward this year to achieve the goals that she has in having her family. And I believe that she can do that, just like I believe it's possible for all of you. Now it's your time. What if you could be our next success story, or even just have as good of a success story as Danielle's already had without the pregnancy? I know that it is possible. If you are ready to get a personalized fertility plan and have a fertility coach like myself, head on over to marksklar.com/discovery call. I'm going to put that link in the description below as well, so that you could speak to a real human on my team. Actually, you're going to be speaking to Danielle as well, so we can identify if having me as your fertility coach is the right next step for you on your journey. And I hope that your journey is successful. Now, as we wrap up, here are some more success stories to help you grow that hope and believe in yourself and know that it is possible. And until the next video, stay fertile.